what I want to do is I want to cover the very, very basics. You'll be delighted to hear. So you're holding the drum with your inside, with your left hand. Anybody left-handed here, just out of interest? Wave if you're left-handed. Great, we're all right-handed. So I should really ask, wave if you're right-handed as well, just to double check we're on the same page there, but it's grand. So your left hand is your tone hand, okay? Tone hand. Your right hand is your rhythm hand. Left hand goes inside the bodhran. If you have bars, bypass them, please. You are not to touch or use your bars on your bodhran. If I turn to my side here, you'll see where my hand is, okay? Katie, I'll describe it as we go as well. So the drum is hanging down with your hand inside, and you should feel it. If you hold the drum up like this and hold it up in the air, the drum should naturally sit with your fingers, but 2 or 3 fingers should feel the skin, like your fingertips, your thumb, index finger, and middle finger. And you should probably feel the top of your fingernails, or your fingernails, you know, that are on the wood, okay? Now that is then pulled into the side of your body like that. And you see how this kind of chicken wing elbow thing's going on here. I'm gonna clamp down on that and pull it into the side of my body like that, so I can feel it against my rib cage. Okay, so if I turn back towards you there, you can see that no matter which way I turn, that drum is sort of locked, so it's sitting on my lap. It's in between my elbow and my rib cage, and it's nice and straight, okay? It's not like that. It's not a funny angle. It's not like that. It's nice and straight, straight lines. Bear with me 2 seconds while I just change a quick setting on my, speaking of settings, folks, please would you be so good as to turn on original sound. You need to turn on original sound. You can do this by going to settings, or there should be a button at the top, and it means that your bodhran won't cut out when you start playing for me in a moment. So I'm just going to make sure you're all muted. Bear with me, and we can just have a look at the first basics. So, holding the stick. This stick is one of the ones that I make. It's, as you can see, it's a load of little sticks put together, and it gives you a kind of, it's like snare kind of sound, you know. It's like jazz sticks. They're called hot rods in normal drumming terms. And you can see that here you can see there's more wood on this side than there is on this side, and you can see that I've got grip about sort of 2/3. It starts halfway up and then finishes about sort of, you know, 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up, and I'm holding it there 2/3, 3/4 of the way up. And I'm holding it like a pencil, okay? So, or like a paintbrush, a long paintbrush. So if you imagine I'm painting the screen here, I love bodhran, whatever I want on a writing a check, it doesn't happen much anymore. But I've got my index finger and my thumb, pads of my finger on that, but then my middle finger, I'm getting behind it, like I would with a pen. I know we all hold pens differently, writing a pen there. And then that then points towards me. Points towards me, points towards my heart, if you will. That's kind of like a sort of a nice, again, straight lines, okay? So I then bring it towards the drum a bit, and this is basically a neutral position for bodhran. It's that you're ready to play the bodhran at this point, okay? And the bodhran has 2 strokes. That's all it is. It's a downstroke and an upstroke. So the downstroke, if we're at this point, neutral position here, we cock our wrist back and flick down. You can sort of drive it down with your thumb. Notice I'm not using my arm, okay? We're not wielding this like Gimli, son of Glowin. We're literally just using our wrist, cocking it back, a bit like, you know, sort of cocking a gun, if you will. Not that any of us know what that means, but, you know, and then flicking with our thumb. Sort of driving it down like that. And then it's matched by an upstroke, which is pretty much the same principle. It's flicking with the wrist, and you can kind of feel it. You start flicking with the wrist and then pull up with your fingers. That's your upstroke. So we put them together. We're going to use a good old-fashioned, you know, highbrow broadsheet saying, which is yabba dabba do, yabba dabba do. Okay, just nice, simple rhythm there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yabba dabba do. Just flicking those two together. Notice how much that flick is so important. And old bodhran students of mine, this is something that all of you could improve on. Okay, so this is a great one for you to just go back to the very basics on this. And it is the flick. It is so important that you all understand it is the flick of the stick. Watch again. Watch carefully. So flick, 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 flick. Can you see the stick almost quivers at the end of each one? That's because I'm not holding it too tight. Flick, 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 flick. Yabba dabba do. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yabba dabba do. Right, we're now going to expand that yabba dabba do, and we're going to turn it into the basic structure for a reel. And I'll explain what a reel is in a second. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yabba dabba, yabba dabba, yabba dabba do. For our DIY experts out there, Black and Decker, Black and Decker, Black and Decker, black. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Notice that my 1 is harder. It's got a little bit more emphasis on it. And that is important because that dictates the kind of push or the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. We speed that up. We start understanding how that works. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Diddle diddle, diddle diddle, diddle diddle dum. Skittle diddle, diddle diddle, diddle diddle dum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. Right, I'm going to ask you all to sign back in again because the way Zoom works, unfortunately, means that each lesson goes on for 40 minutes and then I have to sign back in again at the moment. It's a budget issue with ICC, bless them, but we are trying to hold on to the money in that place. So you all have the links that I sent you. Sign back in and I'll see you in just a second, okay?